welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, let's take a look at the highlights of the week. Seminar on Himalayan biodiversity held. International Conference on Sir Aurel Stein held. Specially abled students thank University for the new vehicles. Book Lost in Terror released. And DSW organizes photography exhibition. Now the details with your host Pinish Ali. The Department of Science and Technology and the Department of Biotechnology, New Delhi, in collaboration with the Center for Kashmir Himalayan Biodiversity, Documentation, Bioprospection and Conservation, organized a two-day seminar on Himalayan biodiversity characterization and bioprospection for sustainable utilization. Advisor, Department of Biotechnology, Dr. Arun Ninave, highlighted the role of DBT in funding various research projects.
We have established in 1986 under the Ministry of Science and Technology, and we have done a lot. You would have heard about National Bioresources Development Board, and we have program. Some of you have already just explained about the awareness bringing and the students training about the species, how it has to be known, what kind of species existing in the valley region or in the southern region or in the western Ghats. So this we have to see and bring awareness among the students, and inventarization is very important part. If we lose something today, it will not be in our hand. Like as we heard about 10-12 years ago about the haldi and the basmati rice and many more things. So we are a promotional agency, DBT, and we support R&D programs, we support institutional setup, and our major areas of supports, as you know, agriculture biotechnology, allied areas of that, like animal biotechnology, aquaculture, then industrial biotechnology, environment and biodiversity conservation, medical biotechnology, and many more things we have been dealing with this.
Director, National Botanical Research Institute, Professor Saroj K. Barik, stressed on the need of discussing the science of biodiversity so as to increase the quality of this science.
We should discuss always the science of biodiversity. Otherwise, it will go to the backbone. Instead of talking nonsense, please concentrate on that science. And the most important, which I am going to highlight, it is the incremental science. We have passed the age. Never emphasize on the number of publications, papers, even I will say that impact factor, but the quality of science. India doesn't need now any more number of publications. We need quality. Then only we can compete with the world. Of biodiversity is an emerging science, with interaction with invasive species, climate change, and other dynamics. It is more challenging. The dynamics has to be studied from the, as Dr. Umashankar said, from evolutionary perspective. More brain is required, and that is the innovation. That type of publications we should aim at. I think if we take these three things, we will succeed, and time will come when we not only will document our biodiversity, which is hitherto unexplored, but also utilized for the human welfare, which I will be touching in my lecture, and also conserve those 2,700 species which we are losing. At least they will be safe in our hand.
Professor Uma Shankar from the Gandhi Krishi Vignana Kendra, Bangalore, expressed dismay over the proposals that are sent for funding for various projects.
The reason why we have very few projects, or of the projects that are submitted, very few finally get funded, is perhaps the way the proposals are written. I think we need to sort of stand up shoulder to shoulder with other disciplines of biology that are funded by DST SERB Plant Sciences Program, and see to it that we also compete for the limited resources that this funding organization has got. I'll be very happy, and I'm volunteering here. I am here for 2 days, plus a half day, that is the day after tomorrow. I would like to sort of stick my neck out, if there is time with some of you, to have a 1 hour sort of meeting where I can probably give you some sort of suggestion in terms of how to prepare proposals. This is for the young investigators, how to prepare proposals how to prepare a winning proposal that may have a better chance of being funded at some of these organizations.
Professor Madhulika Agarwal, advisor at the Center with Potential for Excellence in Particular Area UGC, opined that the documentation part is important in any research and advised teachers to include students in the process.
Whenever we talk about documentation, we always say that we have no baseline record. That is a shame on us. Because baseline record is essential when you say that because of land use changes, because of the climate change, because of any anthropogenic stresses, these changes have happened. So documentation is something very important. In most of the Western world, they do documentation with the help of school students. So the school students are given projects to document the changes in lichen biodiversity, in bryophytes, in pteridophytes. So in their localities, they do this kind of thing. And for those nations, especially European nations, they prepare maps. And based on those maps, they say that this is the sort of biodiversity loss is happening, or this species is becoming very aggressive in that particular area. So there is a change in species composition, there is a change in ecosystem services provided by that particular species. So I would request to have some kind of arrangement either through schools or your own students to have more documentation of biodiversity of these lower plants, which are very important.
Dean Research and Seminar Convener Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi explained the purpose of holding the seminar.
Initially, this program is going to be for 5 years, but if good, we are conscious that if we lay a good foundation, this program can run for another 10 years, total of 15 years. Now, we got grants somewhere in September last year. We started the work, and it is provided within the budgetary allocations that we can organize a seminar. It is in this context that we have met here. We thought that we need to undertake an exercise through which we get to know that who are the people who are working on different aspects of biodiversity in Kashmir, Himalaya, or in J&K state, or elsewhere. And then also invite the experienced stalwarts in this field. The aim was that there are people, we do acknowledge that there are people who have worked in the field of the biodiversity in Kashmir University and then in other institutions.
In his presidential address, Vice Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi opined that scientists have done a commendable job in extracting medicines from various sources of biodiversity.
Humankind existence is subservient to the biodiversity that we are so blessed with, both in terms of sustenance and welfare. And as far as sustenance is concerned, I think the scientists over the years have done a reasonable job in stashing out or identifying crops that help us in agricultural produce and livestock, but unfortunately not in as much propensity. We have followed the other part of the biodiversity, that is the human welfare. Much because the technological advances were not as pronounced as they are today. Or maybe we remained sort of confined to bioprospecting biodiversity in terms of their potential to produce medicine. In that aspect, the scientists have done a commendable job, such that about 50% of the modern prescription drugs are all from different sources of biodiversity.
Organizing Secretary Dr. Manzoor Ahmad Shah conducted the proceedings of the function. The Center of Central Asian Studies organized an international conference on Sir Mark Aurel Stein, From Kashmir to Central Asia. The conference was held in collaboration with Tourism Department of Kashmir and Intact Kashmir chapter. Speaking on the occasion, Vice Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi said that grants provided to any scholar should not be in peanuts.
Even if we were to get a small special grant at some point in life, 2,000 questions asked, what did you do with that grant? Look at this, how West has flourished. We only talk about half-truth. We never talk about the other half. How West has flourished? They identify people with good ideas. Let us say we would have 20 ideas, inspirational ideas. Then they have a very important grant that is called Howard Hughes. And then they give that grant to those guys, make them do whatever they have to. And that is how things flourish.
Chief Executive Officer of the Smart City Project, Mr. Farooq Ahmed Loan, advised the CCAS to develop a real lifestyle museum.
We have already planned to develop tourist interpretation centers and also constructing a museum there. While the effort of the department would be to develop the museum infrastructure part, we would be attending to, but actually what should be there in the museum, it is for the scholars like you who can guide the department. And I would request Dr. Khaki that one of the recommendations of this seminar should be that what should be the nature and what type of things and what we can do further to develop that museum as a real Stein museum which will attract the tourists.
Mr. Yasin M. Zargar, Managing Director, Indus Discoveries, said that Stein was a trained Sanskrit scholar besides an archaeologist.
That in real sense will be our deserving tribute to the man in whose memory and honor we have assembled here. For the land he loved so much is our home. May the glory of our beautiful homeland draw all lovers of peace, beauty, and harmony more and more in number with each passing year. This is the effort Indus Discoveries commits its business and hopes to continue with that vision. Kashmir has given us much, and in measures that is immeasurable. If we succeed in returning even a fraction, I think we may have earned our reward. Honor and peace to Sir Aurel Stein. By remembering him and reviving his Kashmir legacy, we in fact are only serving Kashmir.
Mr. S.M. Pandita, Principal Investigator on Sir Aurel Stein, hoped that this international conference will revive the bonds of humanity.
Stein could not have produced such amazing results in scintillation explorations had he not been trained into the classical training of ancient languages in Sanskrit. Geographer, topographer, explorer, orientalist, Stein is always recognized, but seldom as Sanskritist. But before he became an explorer and an archaeologist, he was a Sanskrit scholar.
Director CCAS Professor G.N. Khaki and Professor Tariq Rathar also spoke on the occasion. Dear viewers, last week the Jammu and Kashmir Bank, under its Corporate Social Responsibility Program, gifted 2 eco-friendly electric cars to Kashmir University for the use of specially abled students. Both eco-friendly cars have a capacity of 11 seats each. A week after, we talked to a few specially abled students about this step. The specially abled students thanked the university and J&K Bank for taking up this initiative.
जो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि ये शुक्रगुजारी की बात है कि हम बहुत थैंकफुल हैं हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी की और जेके बैंक के और जो भी इसमें जुड़ गए हैं हमारी इस मदद के लिए जिन्होंने इसका इनिशिएटिव लिया और फ्रेमवर्क किया है या रिक्वेस्ट की है जेके बैंक से या और किसी बड़े डिपार्टमेंट से और उनके लिए हम बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं कि उन्होंने ये हमारी जो चलने आने जाने की मुश्किलात है उनको दूर किया है और थैंकफुल हम करते हैं कि जेके बैंक स्पेशली जिन्होंने ये मतलब वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स किए है स्पेशली जो गाड़ियाँ दी है तो 2 गाड़ियाँ दी है वो भी कम हैं मुझे लग रहा है कि और भी हम डिज़र्व करते हैं कि हम बहुत स्टूडेंट्स पढ़ रहे हैं 2 गाड़ियाँ बहुत कम हैं तो हम डिज़र्व करते हैं कि जेके बैंक को कि और भी गाड़ियाँ वो इंट्रोड्यूस करें इस कश्मीर यूनिवर्सिटी में
जो यूनिवर्सिटी ने ये एकदम उठा लिया है उससे हमें बहुत फ़ायदा मिलेगा मैं अपनी बात करूँगा जब मैं हॉस्टल से जाता है वहाँ डिपार्टमेंट में मुझे बहुत मुश्किलों का सामना करना पड़ा है जब भी आज मैं पहली बार इस पर चढ़ा बहुत ही आसान आ गया
They said such facilities help them in overcoming certain problems.
इसलिए जो DSW ने ये इनिशिएटिव लिया है कि कार बैटरीज यहाँ पे स्पेशली चैलेंजड पर्सन के लिए लाया तो इससे बहुत फ़ायदा होगा कि एक बच्चा जो डिसेबल है सीरियस डिसेबल है वो इजीली एक्सेसिबल हो सकता है चाहे सो हॉस्टल से डिपार्टमेंट तक इजीली वो टाइम पे पहुंचता है और टाइमली वो अपनी क्लास अटेंड कर सकते हैं, चाहे हॉस्टल से हो या वो गेट से आ रहा हो.
While applauding the university for taking up many initiatives for them, they talked about other needs that they have.
यूनिवर्सिटी से कहता हूँ कि वो रैंप्स इंट्रोड्यूस करेगी सारे डिपार्टमेंट में, खासकर हॉस्टल में फॉर द स्पेशल डिसेबल पर्सन के लिए ये बहुत ही आसान हो जाएगा. और जो ये चेयरमैन जेके बैंक ने प्रोवाइड किया हम लोगों के लिए, और हम उसे गुजारिश करते हैं और इम्प्रूवमेंट करेंगे इंशाल्लाह.
इसके बावजूद भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जो हम रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं यूनिवर्सिटी के मैनेजमेंट से कि वो और ज़्यादा भी जैसे कि लाइब्रेरी के बारे में हमें ये मुताला हुआ है कि लाइब्रेरी में जो देखते नहीं है बच्चे, जो ब्लाइंड स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उनके लिए वो ऑडियो जिसमें वो किताबें डालते थे, बाद में वो ऑडियो वहाँ से वो निकलते हैं, मगर वो ख़राब हो चुकी हैं और उसके बारे में भी उन्हें एक कदम उठाना पड़ेगा कि उसको ठीक करना या नहीं लाना पड़ेगी. और रास्ते में जो बैरर्स आते हैं उनको भी हटाना पड़ेगा. वो स्टूडेंट्स को चलते दौरान कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए. और वहाँ पर भी जो बच्चे वीक चेयर्स पर आते हैं उन्हें वो आसानी के साथ रूम्स तक नहीं जाती हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पर वो स्टेप्स लगाए हुए हैं और रैंप्स की ज़रूरत है. वहाँ पर रैंप्स इंट्रोड्यूस करें और लिफ्ट की इंतहाई ज़रूरत है कि बच्चे जो डिसेबल्ड हैं उन्हें बहुत मुश्किल होती है. जैसे कि हमारे हॉस्टल 3 स्टोरी वाला है, वहाँ पर ऊपर की मंजिल को जब रूम मिल जाते हैं तो बच्चे को चढ़ते उतरते वक्त बहुत मुश्किलात का सामना करना पड़ता है.
The book Lost in Terror, authored by the former broadcaster of BBC and the chairperson of State Commission for Women, Naeema Ahmed Mahjoor, was released. The Media Education Research Centre organised the book release event. BBC correspondent Mr. Riaz Masroor, while commenting on the book, praised the author for her work.
Naeema ji, in her last pages, has said that she leaves Kashmir to tell the Kashmiri story to the whole world. Now this is the endeavor, a novel, because nobody will, excuse us for being amateurs. Nobody will excuse us outside Kashmir or outside India and Pakistan for being first-time novelists. Wherever the novel goes, it will be subjected to the canons of novel writing or fiction writing. So we need to be careful about that. There also, Naeema ji, says that she wants to tell the story to the world. But whenever this book will be read in New York, Boston, Birmingham, London, or Germany, they will be left gasping for the conclusions, gasping for the backdrop.
Academician Professor Nirja Mattu opined that every book of fiction has undertones of truth.
It is a female-dominated narrative because it is seen through her eyes. Whatever she has gone through, and this is something which nobody has done before her. We have had accounts by Bashar al-Pir, Wahid Mirza, others which unfortunately I have not read them all. But this is a kind of a fictionalized. It is apparently fiction, but basically it has an undercurrent of truth. Everything there is familiar to us. She is not varnishing, she is not embroidering, she is telling a plain tale from her own perspective. That I think is the greatest contribution of this book. And also, you see, it talks about the humiliation of a woman, the violation of her privacy. You can forget the larger, context of the fight for Azadi or something, but you have to think of what it does to a woman. And that, I think, is the greatest virtue of this book.
Senior Assistant Professor of MERC, Mr. Nasir Mirza, said that the author has been successful in achieving her objectives.
I feel that she has been successful in achieving the objective. And so far as the beginning is concerned, it begins with hope. And also, despite everything, and she gave a glimpse of it to all the people present here in all the 10 passages that she read out here. And we saw that what is happening, actually it's our history. Different phases of our history. It begins with all the keenness and with all the enthusiasm, with all the eagerness that is generated with the first short riyasa. And then it is all the numbness and the compassion fatigue. That is what we feel towards the end.
Coordinator MERC, Mr. Farooq Masoodi, lauded the talent of the author.
It's immaterial whether she was born pre-90 or post-90, she would still have been Naima Mahjoor even if she were born yesterday. Because she has the talent, it has got nothing to do with the society. I do not mince words in saying that as compared to other societies, other communities, the Muslim communities, the religion of Islam gives so much of freedom and liberty and encouragement and opportunities to women that other religions still deny.
Chairman State Accountability Commission, Justice Retired Bashir Ahmed Kirmani, while summing up the book, said that any story in any fiction literature is not a story of an individual but of the whole society.
तिमन किरदारन जरिए छु लेखन उत्तम मनस कोशिश करें तिम सु तब्दीली ब्रोट को मनस कोशिश करें इजन तम माहौल लाजमी नतीज छु तख मन सु इमोबिल को जाय कोशिश करूस किरदारन अक्तु ब्रोट गायन करू युस बराह रास्त में हमें से बालोस चुके हैं तुसी तरीके की किरदार.
Former broadcaster of Deutsche Welle and journalist Mr. Gohar Gilani conducted the proceedings of the function. A 5-day photography exhibition titled Frames was held in the Convocation Complex of the university. The Department of Students' Welfare, in collaboration with the Faculty of Music and Fine Arts and Tourism Department of Kashmir, organized it. A total of 55 selected photographs were put on display, out of which 5 best photographs were awarded. With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you've missed some part of the program, you can log on to emmrckashmir.com, where you can watch the whole episode. Do send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Albert Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." With these words, I take your leave. See you next week. Goodbye.